This week in AI had a very clear pattern. The big story was not one chatbot. It was infrastructure. Google used I/O 2026 to push Gemini deeper into search, video creation, shopping, Android, developer tools, and personal agents. OpenAI moved on Provenance, adding stronger signals for AI-generated media. Anthropic made 2 enterprise moves in the same week, acquiring Stainless for agent connectivity and announcing Claude access across KPMG's global workforce. Cohere and Mistral both made industry-specific AI plays. GitHub changed the default model for Enterprise Copilot. And NVIDIA's earnings put hard numbers behind the AI factory build-out. The short version, AI is moving from an app you open to a layer inside everything else. Google I/O 2026 was the biggest event of the week. Google published a 100-item recap, and the center of gravity was Gemini moving into more surfaces at once. The headline model was Gemini 3.5 Flash, which Google says is generally available through Google Anti-Gravity, the Gemini API, Google AI Studio, and Android Studio. Google described it as a Flash series model built for frontier intelligence and action, including long-horizon agentic work. Google also said Gemini 3.5 Pro is already being used internally and is planned for rollout next month. The important part is not just a model name. It is the distribution, developer tools, search, Android, creative apps, YouTube, and shopping all getting tied into the same Gemini stack. The most creator-facing Google story was Gemini Omni. Google describes Gemini Omni as a model that can create from any input, starting with video, and eventually work across any input and output. Google says Omni Flash is rolling out through the Gemini app and Google Flow for paid subscribers, and is also available in YouTube Shorts Remix and YouTube Create for users 18 and older at no cost. The pitch is conversational editing. Upload a photo or video, request changes, apply templates, change backgrounds, add camera moves, or put yourself into a scene. Google also says videos created with Omni include SynthID watermarking. For creators, this matters because the AI video fight is shifting from one-shot generation to controllable editing, identity consistency, and platform-native remixing. Google also pushed AI deeper into search. Its I/O recap says AI mode surpassed 1 billion monthly users and is being upgraded with Gemini 3.5 Flash as the new default model globally. Google announced a redesigned AI search box that can take text, images, files, videos, and Chrome tabs, then reason across them. The agentic part is even more interesting. Google says information agents in search will monitor topics, tasks, or projects in the background and send synthesized updates. It also announced generative UI through anti-gravity in search, where search can build custom layouts, tables, graphs, simulations, or mini-app-like experiences for a query. Translation: search is being repositioned from a list of links into an active workspace. OpenAI's announcement this week was not a model launch. It was about trust signals. On May 19, OpenAI said it is strengthening content provenance with C2PA conformance, adding durable cross-platform SynthID watermarking to images through a partnership with Google, and previewing a public verification tool for checking whether images came from OpenAI. This is one of those stories that sounds less flashy than a new model, but it matters for every AI video, image, and audio workflow. As generated media becomes easier to create, the industry needs signals that can survive distribution and help viewers, platforms, and journalists understand where media came from. The key phrase is ecosystem-driven. OpenAI is not pitching this as one company's watermark alone, but as a standards and platform problem. Anthropic's Stainless acquisition is a pure agent infrastructure story. Anthropic says the frontier is shifting from models that answer to agents that act, and that agents are only as capable as the systems they can reach. Stainless is known for SDK generation and MCP server tooling. Anthropic says Stainless has powered every official Anthropic SDK since the early days of the Claude API, and that its tools generate SDKs, CLIs, and MCP servers across languages like TypeScript, Python, Go, and Java. The reason this matters is simple: an agent without reliable connectors is just a smart text box. If Claude is going to work across tools, documents, APIs, enterprise systems, and workflows, the boring developer plumbing becomes strategic. One day after the Stainless acquisition, Anthropic announced a global alliance with KPMG. The numbers are the headline. KPMG operates across 138 countries and territories, and Anthropic says all 276,000 plus KPMG employees globally will gain access to Claude. Claude will also be embedded inside KPMG's digital gateway platform, starting with new tools for tax and legal clients. Anthropic says the companies will also build Claude-powered products for private equity portfolio companies and use Claude in cybersecurity work to find and fix vulnerabilities in critical systems. This is a very different kind of adoption story from a consumer chatbot going viral. It is a professional services firm putting AI into the workflows where documents, tax logic, legal judgment, audits, security, and client delivery already live. Cohere and Mistral both used this week to show a more vertical strategy. Cohere released Command A+, which it describes as the final model in the Command A family. The release note says it supports vision inputs, reasoning, translation, and agentic tasks, and that it is Cohere's first mixture of experts model with 25 billion active parameters and 218 billion total parameters. It also supports 48 languages and is available through standard API endpoints. Separately, Cohere announced it is acquiring Reliant AI to expand sovereign enterprise AI for biopharma and healthcare. Mistral announced a definitive agreement to acquire Emmy AI, a physics AI company, saying more than 30 researchers and engineers will join Mistral's science and applied AI teams. The common thread: not every AI company is trying to win by being the broadest chatbot. Some are going deep into regulated industries, sovereign deployments, science, engineering, and healthcare. On May 17, GitHub said GPT 5.3 Codex is now the base model for all Copilot business and enterprise organizations, replacing GPT 4.1 when an organization has not approved other models through internal review. GitHub also says GPT 5.3 Codex is its first long-term support model in partnership with OpenAI, with availability through February 4, 2027. For developers, the interesting detail is not just that the model changed. It is that enterprise AI coding now has model lifecycle language, base model, internal approval, premium request units, long-term support, deprecation dates. That is what AI looks like when it moves from experiment to governed software infrastructure. NVIDIA's May 20 earnings release gave the infrastructure story its biggest hard number. NVIDIA reported record revenue of $81.6 billion for the quarter ended April 26, 2026, up 85% from a year earlier. Data center revenue hit $75.2 billion, up 92% year over year. NVIDIA also announced a new reporting framework with two market platforms, data center and edge computing. Within data center, NVIDIA will break out hyperscale and AC, where AC includes AI clouds, industrial, and enterprise. That accounting change is a signal. NVIDIA is organizing its reporting around AI factories and edge AI, because the market is no longer just training giant models. It is cloud inference, enterprise AI, industrial AI, physical AI, and agentic systems running everywhere. So the big takeaway from this week is that AI is becoming less like a product category and more like a technology layer. Google is putting Gemini across search, video, Android, shopping, and agents. OpenAI is working on Provenance because generated media now needs receipts. Anthropic is buying and partnering around the enterprise connector layer. Cohere and Mistral are aiming at sovereign, healthcare, science, and industrial AI. GitHub is treating coding models like enterprise infrastructure. NVIDIA's numbers show the hardware build-out underneath it all. The question for the next few months is not which chatbot wins. It is, which companies can turn models into reliable systems that act, connect, cite, verify, and scale.